Have you ever noticed that everything Donald Trump touches turns to a big pile of steaming shit? It doesn't matter if we're talking about the economy, foreign policy, domestic policy, even something so simple as manners. It goes from being thriving and robust to a big stinking pile of caca. That was the case this weekend with the Ryder's Cup. I don't know if you're familiar with the Ryder's Cup, but it's a golfing competition between American golfers and European golfers. Some years it's held in the United States, some years it's held in Europe. Some years the Americans win, some years the Europeans win. Now, there's always been a bit of ribbing and jeering and cheering that goes on at the Ryder's Cup, but this year it was totally out of control. Fans behaved in an absolutely disgusting manner. They were shouting and screaming, yelling foul language, cursing. As European golfers were lining up to putt, they were screaming during the putts. At one point, one of them threw a drink at the wife of European golfer Rory McIlroy and hit her in the head. Later, McIlroy would blame Trump culture for the obnoxious behavior of Americans. Listen to this clip.
I'm absolutely fed up with those American fans who've been corrupted by Trump. At the Ryder Cup, it wasn't just taunting. They completely abandoned basic etiquette. Security had to kick people out, and the match was even delayed for 2 hours because of Trump's grandstanding. This is not the kind of chaos that belongs in sports. Trump confuses rudeness with courage and shouting with patriotism, and the result is these fans turning the golf course into a rally.
I'd like to apologize to the European golfers for the treatment they received at the hands of drunken Americans. It's totally unacceptable. It isn't something that most Americans go along with. What a shameful episode in American conduct. How embarrassing. I have some friends visiting Australia right now, and they said Australians tend to think of America as a joke because of its current leadership. Well, I wanted to confirm this. I have several Australian friends, so I decided to ask one of them what Australians think about America. His name is Monty Dwyer. He's a writer. In fact, he was in this country with his wife earlier this year, working on a book about American politics. When it comes out, I'll let you know so that you can pick up a copy. At any rate, he emailed me his answer, and this is part of it. I just wanted to read it to you. This is what Australians think about America. Your friends are telling you we think America is a joke, and on a superficial level, I guess that's true. But anyone who digs a little deeper will find that mirth turning to sadness. To witness a country we've all looked up to for so long, so obviously being led down the path to authoritarianism by a self-serving criminal and his merry band of sycophants and deviants is heartbreaking. Your system is rotten to the core, mate, and it's hard to see even a slow fix, let alone a quick one. This Epstein business is a perfect example of the extent of the rot. It's riddled right through every layer of power, and only complete disclosure will repair even some of the public's distrust and disdain, and I have my doubts that that will ever happen. That is what Australians think of America, according to Monty. You know what? I think he's right.
Why does everything in this country come with a fucking fee? Like, bro, I just went to renew my license this morning. $33. $33 for a piece of plastic that I already had just because I turned 30 a couple months ago. Like, damn, I didn't even have $33 to spare, but if I don't pay it, I can't legally drive to even make money. Every time we take one step forward, there's another toll booth waiting. I mean, you can't exist in this country without paying a cover charge. You want to drive? Pay. You want to live somewhere? Pay. You want to stay alive? Pay. And they sound like it's normal. Like it's just $30, they say. Yeah, 30 here, 60 there, 100 for registration, 1,000 for insurance. And by the time you breathe, you're broke again. It's not even about the money anymore. It's the principle of it. You can work, pay taxes, follow the rules, and still get treated like you owe somebody something. Like no matter how hard you try, you're always one overdue bill away from losing it. Meanwhile, the people at the top don't even pay for shit. They write the rules, then skip the line, while the rest of us get stuck footing the bill for their lifestyle. We're not living in a system anymore. We're maintaining theirs. But hey, as long as they get their cut, right? Guess that's what freedom costs now.
Many of us here in the U.S. are waking up this morning to our investments and stocks plummeting. I know I made the mistake of checking my account. Trump's tariffs have had a huge, huge impact on the economy and will continue to do so. You know it's a bad sign when his former vice president, Mike Pence, is speaking out directly against these tariffs and warning that the average American will be losing $3,500 this year as a result of the tariffs. Do you know how many people voted for this administration without even understanding what a tariff is? But do you know who did explain it and did warn over and over? Kamala Harris. She spoke out directly against what is happening now. And yet, here we are.
So I think we can all agree at this point that the US is in serious decline. I've talked about it from the standpoint of education. I've talked about it from the standpoint of economy. You could talk about it from the standpoint of just about any way that we meet people's needs in this country. People are not getting their needs met. It's hard to say when this decline started. I think you could say that it even started in the 1970s, but I think it became apparent in 2016 when we democratically elected a right-wing demagogue, which is what countries in decline do. And I've been pretty clear since about last summer or so that my continuing to stay in this country is a choice to go through a very difficult time in history. And I also understand that the choice to stay is itself very privileged. And I guess I'm making this video partly as a caution and partly as a call to action. As a country declines, there is this pattern of insane concentration of wealth, and those who own the wealth start to engage in a lot of corruption in order to keep the wealth going. And where there once was order and maybe some facade that there was not that much corruption, that is all gone, and the people who are in the middle and the upper middle economically start to get swallowed up by the wealth inequality. And the typical reaction of people who are supposed to have privilege in the society is that they will fight very hard to maintain that position. And so my caution is to let you know that we are not at that place in history where we elect a different representative. We're at that part of history where we rewrite the way that government works, the way that education works, the way that economy works. It's a much bigger change. We're waiting and holding on while this current thing crumbles. We're not building anything. And for those of us who are more privileged, it is time for us to let go of our privilege and some belief that we are supposed to have more money than the people who are marginalized in our society. One of the ways that marketing gets at us is that it throws the wealth inequality in our face and tells us that we need to pretend that we have more money than we have. And most people are just going around pretending that they are in okay financial shape.
So it's make Argentina great again. It's make Israel better. It's anything but America first. And now he's going to take away food stamps the whole month of November. And let me tell you what, 1 out of every 5 people that are on food stamps are veterans. They have fought for this country, and President Trump is punishing poor people for the No Kings rally. That's what he's doing. See, President Trump doesn't want to be president anymore. He wants to be the king. He's already established everything that he has to do. And look, you've seen what them young Republicans were writing, and you've seen that guy come out and say, well, this is just what all Republicans do and say behind the scenes. It's no big deal. This is how we all feel. They're all racist, male chauvinist, pedophiles, and now they want us to accept that. Look, President Trump's ratings are dropping like the rent on a burning building. He doesn't care that you don't agree with what he's doing. He's just going to start punishing the poorest of us all. And that's making America great.
This isn't me trying to fearmonger. This is just me trying to prepare you. The U.S. economy right now is like a Jenga tower with 18 fucking pieces missing. We are one piece pulled out away from everything just toppling down. AI was responsible for 40% of US GDP growth this past year and 80% of US stock growth. And the manufacturing industry has contracted for 7 consecutive months, while every other economic indicator is saying this is as bad as things have been since 2009. Now, when you have a sentence that says the economy is as bad as it's been since 2009, you are fucked. So again, this is not me fear-mongering. This is just me preparing you. Our economy is in a very bad place. If you have a job, hold on to it with everything you have.
Government is lying to us. This economy is about to collapse. The best thing you could do is lock in, get comfortable, and enjoy the ride. Every industry is about to burst. Take a look at the car industry. $1.5 billion worth of cars sitting on lots that nobody buying. The interest rate is all fucked up. You're paying $40,000, $50,000 for an average fucking vehicle. People are stuck in mortgages that they don't want to fucking be in no more. The houses are cheaply built. Every time you turn around, something fucking breaking. Hey, yo, and let's not forget these fucking commercial buildings and shit that people aren't using no more. They don't resort to Zoom and Vonage and shit like that. They giving up on a payment on that shit. The banks can't sell them shits to nobody, so the banking industry is all fucked up. Hey, yo, this country is fucked up right now, man. And anybody thinking that the government is coming to save them, they can't even save their fucking self, look. The government is shut the fuck down right now. Millions of people are about to go without food during Thanksgiving month. Yo, this shit is real out this motherfucker, man. And people walking around not knowing what the fuck is going on or believing everything gonna be alright. This is a fucking cardboard economy. Buy now, pay later. But where you gonna get the money to pay later? The job's not fucking hiring. Yo, I'm telling you right now, I don't know what the fuck is around the corner, but I'm scared. I'm scared about what the fuck is around this corner, man. I don't think any of us walking on earth right now have ever witnessed what the fuck is going on in our country. And this shit is fact.
Okay, I'm making this video again because my first one was taken down for violations. I have no idea why. So we have another leading economist joining the growing chorus of leading economists that are screaming, like literally, that the United States is heading towards a major debt crisis. And he, along with others, is predicting this is going to happen in 2026. And he's talking about all the red flags that everybody is ignoring, way beyond increased prices and joblessness and no new job growth and so forth. He says it's all tied to the record-breaking price of gold right now. It's like at $4,000 an ounce. That central banks right now are accumulating so much gold because central banks are worried about two things: the value of the US dollar plummeting. They can see it happening, as well as the geopolitical tensions that are growing all since Donald Trump took office. And for some reason, central banks accumulate gold to hedge their bets because of what they see is happening. He says that Wall Street is behaving the same way they did before the 2008 subprime mortgage collapse, when so many Americans lost so much. Some lost everything. Back in 2008, Wall Street and those who owned stocks were exuberant. They were celebrating how many millionaires. They were all becoming millionaires with the manipulated stock markets. And it's happening again now. And back then they ignored all the red flags and did not adjust accordingly. And he sees that happening right now the same. He said that this economic collapse that he and others are predicting is going to feel, the 2008 subprime mortgage collapse is going to feel like Sunday school compared to what's going to happen next. Now, I know a lot of things are looking bad. Prices are skyrocketing. Over 1 million people have lost their jobs since Trump took office. There's no real new job growth and so forth. But I really hope him taking a look at the price of gold and how much central banks are accumulating is just something he's just worried about, but that it doesn't actually happen. I mean, let's hope this doesn't happen. So there you go.
America is not what it once was. I've got some bad news for people who don't travel internationally. The world hates us, okay? We're not the big dogs. We don't have the clout that we once had. We aren't even like statistically on top of anything, education or anything anymore. And I've traveled a lot internationally. Over COVID, obviously, I stopped. And there's always been an underlying tone that America is dangerous. But, you know, we run Hollywood, so a lot of the media that is consumed by people in other countries is still American. However, I'm on my first international trip since COVID, and it has gotten worse. I have heard from every nationality that America is dangerous, but I arrived in Indonesia, which is a country that, you know, a lot of people aim to get out of and go to America. And the first thing that my taxi driver says to me is that he's afraid of America because of all the poppy seeds that we're taking and all the jazz powder that people are using. And he's convinced that people are walking around the US like zombies, because that's what's on the internet. That's what these people are seeing. And I think it's a really big lesson if you are sheltered and are not leaving the US. We don't got it. Like, we don't got it anymore. People don't want to live in America. People aren't eager to live in America. When I was in Europe, a lot of the kids said their parents wouldn't let them go to America because they were afraid they were going to get popped by the police. Like, those are the fears. The only fear that Americans have when their children travel overseas is that they're going to be, like in the movie Taken, which is a very small possibility. And they just use that as a fear. I don't even, like, that's not really even a founded fear. People aren't taking Americans when we go, because you know how big of a hell case they would raise if some little white girl went missing? That's not what's happening. But what is happening is other people from other nations are going to America and bad things are happening to them. So, just a reminder, we ain't shit. We ain't shit.
For those of you that don't understand how truly awful the US has become, I'm going to put it into perspective for you. I saw my aunt yesterday and she told me a story that absolutely blew my mind. And it's really hard to tell me a story about the evil that America is right now that surprises me. But this surprised me. It's on another level. So my aunt is a realtor and she had a client in the past that she sold a second farm to. He is a farmer and he raises cattle, making an honest living, and so his original farm wasn't big enough for all of his cattle, so he had to get a second farm. And then his wife got pregnant and then a medical emergency happened. So basically, the baby was born extremely prematurely and the wife almost died, but that's a separate issue. And so I want you to guess. I want you to formulate a number in your head about how much you think it cost for that baby to be in the hospital for 4 months because it was a premature baby. Take a minute, think about it. $900,000. Almost $1 million. What small business owner, farmer has $1 million? So now he has to sell his second farm, he has to sell some of those cattle, and for what? So his baby could survive. America, right? So pro-life, huh?
One of the things that pisses me off more than anything will be people that complain about how trash America is, or I hate living here, it sucks here. Well then leave. Like, you do not understand how good we have it here. Like, you've never even visited another country. You've only been to, I visited other countries. I stayed at this resort. Well, yeah, dude, you stayed at a resort. You haven't seen what it's actually like. America is an amazing place. And the fact that you're saying you hate it here and you don't like it, it's inconsiderate and selfish. So please leave and go somewhere else.